Welcome to this presentation on warm season flash flooding for the National Weather Service's Flood Safety Awareness Week. The photo in the background is of a flash flood event that took place in Rutland, Vermont on August 21, 2009. In this presentation, we'll first define what a flash flood is and what's meant by the warm season. Next, we'll go into what can cause flash flooding, areas that can be more susceptible to flash floods, and some dangers flash floods can pose. Finally, we'll attempt to summarize all the topics by looking at a flash flood case that took place in southern Addison County in Vermont. Flash flooding, by definition, is a sudden, rapid rise in water level which can produce potentially devastating flooding. The key in the definition of a flash flood is the time element. The sudden, short-duration nature of flash flooding differentiates it from a more prolonged, long-duration flood event where water rises are slower. Note that initial flash flooding can transition to a long-duration flood event. We define the warm season as spanning between April through October, so warm season flash flooding effectively excludes ice jam-related flash flooding, which can happen during our colder months. We'll refer to warm season flash flooding as flash flooding through the rest of this presentation. So what can produce flash flooding here in the North Country? Very heavy rainfall associated with thunderstorms produces most of the flash flood events that we find here in the North Country. Since thunderstorms tend to form in humid, high moisture environments, any thunderstorm can produce copious amounts of rainfall and an associated flash flood risk. The flash flood risk can be enhanced by thunderstorms that are stationary or slow-moving because of their potential to produce very heavy rain over a localized area. Thunderstorms that move over the same area repeatedly, often in sequence, also can produce flash flooding. We call this effect training, as shown in the graphic. We also experience flash flooding produced by tropical cyclones. Torrential tropical downpours associated with heavy rain bands and/or embedded thunderstorms in the tropical cyclone itself can cause flash flooding. Though not necessarily weather-related, the failure of a dam will cause an immediate sudden release of water, prompting flash flood warnings. Some areas are more vulnerable to flash flooding than others. The reason for this variation depends on effects such as antecedent rainfall and differing land use practices. Prior rainfall events can help to prime areas to flash floods as the ground becomes more saturated in these locations. It would take a lower amount of rainfall over a short period of time to produce a flash flood if the soils are already saturated. You might not have realized that urban areas are susceptible of flash flooding. Recall the photo at the beginning of this presentation depicting the Rutland flash flood. It can take a lower amount of rainfall to flood an urban area than one that has more porous soils. Since rain can't absorb into the ground if the ground is covered by pavement and asphalt surfaces, it goes directly to runoff on the ground. Mountainous terrain, canyons, and valley locations are also prone to flash flooding. Rainfall runs down the mountain and pools into the low-lying valleys, making it easier for flash flooding to occur here. Orographic effects can enhance rainfall rates on the windward side of the mountains. Flash flooding carries with it a variety of societal impacts which can range from minor to catastrophic. The threat to human life is significant even in the most minor of flash flood events. Field and culvert flooding and water on roadways can occur even in minor flash flood events. In higher-end flash flood events, significant structural damage to infrastructure, such as road washouts where the pavement is eroded by floodwaters, or complete property losses due to water damage or water sweeping buildings away, can occur. Though flash flooding is potentially dangerous at any time, it is especially so at night, simply because it is difficult to see advancing floodwaters until it is too late. Flash floods can catch outdoor enthusiasts off guard, including hikers and swimmers. To help tie in what we've learned up to this point about warm season flash flooding, We'll close this presentation with a brief overview of a flash flood case that affected southern Addison County on August 6, 2008. This event began around midnight on August 6th and continued through the afternoon of the 6th. Terrain influences in this part of Addison County, which the color shading in the graphic show, helped to enhance the flash flood threat. Some impacts from this event can be seen on the graphic as well, which largely affected campgrounds in the central Green Mountains. This is a composite radar image loop, which shows areas of heavy rain and thunderstorms in orange and red shading. As this loop plays, focus your attention on the red box, which corresponds roughly to the area that experienced the flash flooding. A couple of slow-moving isolated thunderstorms developed around midnight as the loop begins to play. Another round of moderate, locally heavy rain then moved in during the early morning hours of the 6th. Some weakening thunderstorm activity then moved into the affected area during the early to mid-afternoon. Estimates of 3 to 4 inches of rain fell in this area, with anecdotal reports of up to 6 inches through the entire event. Here's some photographs of road washouts and an aerial photo of road erosion from the affected area. Since part of this event took place during the pre-dawn hours, anyone driving in the dark on any of these roads would have put themselves in significant danger. Thanks for watching this presentation on warm season flash flooding. For more information, visit us on the web at www.weather.gov/Burlington. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at @NWS Burlington.